Welcome to the CatFiveBoys podcast. I'm your host, Matt, and I'm here with my co-host, Maddie.
Hey everybody, I hope you're all doing well.
And welcome to another episode of the CatFiveBoys podcast. Just me and Maddie today. And we're back after a semi-long hiatus. You know, we were on, the last time we did a show, it was like 2 weeks ago. So apologies for that. A lot of stuff was going on. We'll explain later on in the show. A couple of the things that were going on, I suppose. But nonetheless, welcome to the CatFiveBoys show. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Hopefully it's an entertaining one today. And yeah, we had two bangers back to back. We had Aubrey Kana on the show, and then we had Stephanie Kendall on the show. Yeah, Stephanie Kendall on the show. So we had two bangers of episodes. Interesting conversations, both with Stephanie and with Aubrey. So if you guys want to go check those out, the last two episodes before this one, go check those episodes out. They're very entertaining, very, very fun, especially the Stephanie one. The Stephanie one was more, I would say, more contentious and more like more contentious and more it was more of a back and forth that was more interesting to see. But yeah, if you guys are interested in that, go check it out. With that being said, let me get through a couple of announcements right now. And I should have gotten this ready before, but unfortunately for the listeners, I can't say that word, but I'm an idiot. Okay, let's see here. Bear with me. Just bear with me for 2 seconds here. I'm so sorry. All right, let's see here. Let's see. All right. Anyways, I don't even know why am I trying to get this, because I know this by memory. Anyways, so welcome to the show. Disclaimer: the views expressed on the show by the individual hosts and/or guests do not necessarily reflect the views of the CatFiveBoys podcast. Further disclaimer: the topics that are talked about on the show sometimes can get a little bit heavy. Sometimes they can get a little bit dark, a little bit deep. So if that's not your type of thing, this probably isn't the show for you. We have clips. If you can't catch the full shows, we have clips on different social media platforms. We have clips on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, we have YouTube Shorts. You can go check those out. We have clips on there. And we also have clips on TikTok and Instagram. I already said that. So if you guys want to go check those out, you can't catch the full shows. Obviously, not all the good clips are going to be there, because then what's the point of the episodes? But if you want to catch some of the best bits of the shows, that's a good place to do it. If you would like to be a guest on the show, we would love to have you on, just like Aubrey Kana was and just like Stephanie Kendall was a couple shows back. If you want to be a guest on the show, we would love to have you on. Send us an Instagram DM at CatFiveBoys, letting us know your interest in being on the show. Maybe there's some sort of, interesting thing that's happening in your life that you want to talk about. Maybe there's like some sort of topic that you heard us discuss before that you want to debate with us. Maybe you don't like the fact that I think that women shouldn't be able to vote. Maybe you don't like the fact that Maddie's a simp. Who knows? Maybe you don't like the fact that George hates fat people. Who knows? At the end of the day, if you have any topics you would like to discuss with anybody who's been on the show, send me a DM on Instagram, or send us a DM on Instagram at CatFiveBoys, letting us know you're interested in being on the show and giving us a little bit of a bio of yourself, and we will coordinate. I stream every single Saturday. At least I try to. This Saturday I will start, maybe not for sure, but kind of for sure. With the streams, I will be doing TikTok debates. I'm going on there, going on random people's TikTok lives and debating them about certain things, whatever it is they put up. Some people on there be crazy. So be on the lookout for that. If that's something that interests you, be on the lookout for that. That's going to be coming in every single Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern time. The link to those the link to the Twitch and the YouTube, because I stream on both, will be in the description down below. And yeah, we also play games on there. We have fun. It's a good time. So if you want to come check it out, feel free. With that being said, also a new thing going on a little bit. We have merch, or at the very least, we have things that we are selling, which is pretty much merchandise, I guess. I don't really like to call it that because it's religious things. It's Catholic things. So if you guys are into Catholic things, you guys like rosaries, you guys, little prayer cards and things of that nature. We are selling them online. I'm gonna put the description or the link to that in the description as well. Still kind of a work in progress. So if the store doesn't look like as full as it should be, that's probably why. So bear with us. But we are starting to, roll out some rosaries. We're rolling out. Or with every or with it's pretty much just rosary at the moment, but with every order of a rosary, you will get a free prayer card. So feel free to check out the store. You don't have to buy anything, obviously, if you don't want to, but just check it out. Give it a look, see if there's anything that interests you. Other than that, make sure to subscribe on YouTube. Make sure to drop us a 5 stars on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We have figured it out. Finally, the world and the stars align. 54% of our listeners are male, which makes a lot more sense now. Either way, there's still a very big percentage of you that are female, so hopefully you guys enjoy this as much as the guys. I'm sorry, you girls enjoy this as much as the guys. I fucked that up. Anyways, also, we're like international now. We have people from all over the world, so hello to you guys as well, in the Philippines and Italy and all that. Nigeria, we have people from there as well, so listen, you guys are listening from all over the world. Wherever you're from, drop it in the comments section down below. Feel free to drop a bunch of comments. Whatever you guys want to say, we would love to see them. We would love to touch on any of those comments in the next episode. With that being said, we post every single Wednesdays and Fridays. At least we try. And yeah, let's get started with the show. Hopefully, you guys enjoy. Maddie, how have you been? What's been going on since the last episode that was fucking forever ago?
Well, buddy, everything's been good. My friends and I, we finally went on our Universal trip, and we were lucky enough to be able to go to Epic Universe, which is the new park that opened up, and that was really fun. It was a real good time for us to all bond and grow closer together while having fun at a new park. Um, Everything in life has been going well. Everything in my job has been going well. I am getting over a sickness right now, so I'm gonna apologize in advance for throughout the show if I go on mute or if I clear my throat or if I cough out a lung. I'm gonna apologize in advance for that. But everything else has been going well, man. I really can't complain. Everything in life is going very well, and I feel like I'm on a good path and a good point in my life right now, buddy. How about you?
Well, buddy, you have no idea how much that makes me happy to hear. I'm glad that I'm glad that my boy Matty is going through a good period of his life at the moment. I cannot say anything different. Life is going good as well. I mean, pretty standard to what's been going on, but it's good. I can't complain. This will kind of give you a little bit of a insight as to what happened, why we haven't been posting in a while. So we have been having a couple of guests that were scheduled to come on. Some of them have flaked on us, haven't been able to come on the show for X, Y, and Z reasons. So we've been postponing those shows for later dates, which I will let you guys know in the future when those dates will be set. But regardless of that, the rescheduling of the guests that have been scheduled to come on, and I mean, I always knew ever since the beginning it was going to be a little bit annoying when it comes to the scheduling of different guests, scheduling of people and whatnot. It's going to be a little bit annoying because things happen, people flake, it happens. But either way, we move forward, we move on. Also, just like Maddie went to Universal, I went to Orlando, but for a different park. I went to Disney World. Best believe it, Disney World. That's where I went. I went for my my fiance's birthday, and we spent a little time there. We had fun. It was a good time, and we enjoyed the parks, and we went to 3 different parks within the span of 3 days or 2 days. Sorry. So best believe we were doing a lot throughout that time. So obviously that Thursday, because it was a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we went. That Thursday show we couldn't do because obviously I was out of town, and then the following week, funny enough, we were moving. So, it was jam packed with a bunch of shit that we were trying to do. I was trying to get the Wi-Fi set up as well. The Wi-Fi was not working with me. It just did not want to fucking Did not want to cooperate with your boy. So I had to, work around the Wi-Fi, and I did. So that's why we're here today. other than that, like I said, it's just been kind of things that have been going on recently that we haven't been able to post as often as we usually do. Now, granted, I should have let you guys know in some way, shape, or form, maybe a community post on YouTube. I just don't feel like we have that big of an audience to be posting like community posts as to what's going on or whatever the case may be. Although I know it's probably still best that we do that for the couple of you that are listening or that do listen consistently. Which I will, whenever things like that happen, we have to postpone a show or whatever. I'm gonna try to get that. I'm gonna try to get that done as well. Posting some community notes. I know I haven't. We also haven't posted a clip in a long time. I'm gonna get on those clips. I'm telling you, I've been saying that shit literally probably. That's been like a ritual. Every single fucking episode, I've been saying the same thing. But I'm gonna get on those clips. I'm gonna post more clips. I promise. Content will be on the way. We also got the new merch coming out, and like I said, I don't like saying merch because it just seems like it makes it seem like it's like some, I don't know, it just makes it seem weird. But for me, it's really a thing that I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about my faith. I'm a Catholic. First and foremost, I'm a believer. I'm a man of faith, and I'm part of the Catholic Church first and foremost. So, like I said, the church is really important to me, and one of those aspects is my devotion to the Blessed Virgin Mary. And one of the I suppose the strongest weapons that she's given us, and that we have at our disposal, is the Rosary. A lot of history in the Rosary that if I were to start talking about it right now, I would not stop for the next 3 hours. So I'm not going to do that in this episode. Maybe you guys can come check it out, or you guys can come check me out in my stream that I do every Saturday, and I'll talk about it there, and you guys can chat with me there as well. But my devotion to the Blessed Virgin Mary is something that's really important to me, and I am, kind of releasing alongside my siblings, my brother and my sister-in-law. We are releasing rosaries, for sale, free prayer cards in every order. If you guys want to go check that out, we'll have the link to the store in the bio or in the description of this video, and in the description of also the Spotify ones and everything like that. Well, I'm also going to put it in my link in our link tree, for the CatFiveBoys show, which would be linked in kind of almost all of our social medias really. So if you guys want to go check it out, feel free to check it out. And yeah, we would really appreciate, all the orders that you guys put in, whatever you guys decide to buy. And if not, just looking around the store, we appreciate it very much. But again, it's something that comes from the heart, and, made with care and whatnot. So if you guys want to check it out, the link to that will be in the description down below. Other than that, oh, sorry. I also was going to say, when it comes to the rosaries, we have a variety of different rosaries. We have full-size rosaries, which is the full, I suppose, necklace-style rosary. And then we have, pocket ones. We have wrist ones. So if you guys want to go check those out, again, the link to that will be in the description down below. Other than that, again, we're back, hopefully not for good. We have an appearance with, Maddie and I have an appearance with Stephanie Kendall, one of our past guests on the show. We have an appearance with her on her show that's coming out sometime soon. I'll keep you guys posted on that as well. But we are going to go on her show as well, and we have some things planned, which I think I'll get into later on in the show, just to kind of get started with everything. I know I've been talking for a long time, but either way, long-winded thing just to say, I'm grateful to be here, grateful to do another episode of this show with Maddie, and grateful to see the growth and the kind of the way, the road that we're taking with this show. I'm grateful for it all. I'm grateful for Maddie being here with me and doing this show with me every single week, and all the guests that we've had and being there. I'm very grateful to Maddie for that. You guys will see behind the scenes, or whatever the case may be. Maddie is here every single episode, or he's here most episodes really. I don't think he's ever missed one actually, but Maddie's here all the time, and I just want to give him his flowers on the show. He's a phenomenal co-host. He's my guy. I love Maddie, and I just appreciate him so much. But
that's so sweet of you, buddy.
Of course, buddy. Listen, like I said, I appreciate you very much. And the direction we're taking with this show, it's something that I'm very excited about. I'm very excited about the future of the show and everything like that. So, grateful to be doing it with Maddie as well. So, but with that being said, and without further ado, let's get right into the actual meat of the show. First things first, as we do with every other show that we do, let's get into the Reddit. So first Reddit, here we go. kissed a 19-year-old, feeling a little weird about it. Hey, I, 24 female, recently met a 19-year-old guy through work. He was a patient at the physical therapy clinic where I work as an assistant. Side note, this is just me. This is me saying this, by the way. This is not, no, I'm not reading anymore. Medical people, like women who are in the medical field, some of the biggest hoes on the fucking planet. Some of the biggest
Oh,
hoes on the
yeah,
planet.
gee whiz.
Listen, I'm just saying. You're in the medical field and you're a woman. Chances are you're fucking a patient or something. Especially if you're a travel nurse. Yeah, no, you're cooked. Anyways, let's keep going. But he's almost finished treatment now. We ended up hanging out a bit, and honestly, it felt really natural. We clicked well, talked a lot, good chemistry, and eventually kissed. It was actually really sweet, and he's really respectful. He's trying hard to show he's serious and mature, and I can tell he means it. But I can't ignore the age gap. Even though he's great, 19 is still young, and I definitely feel the difference. I just want to make it clear. Sorry for interrupting again. She put a period and then started a sentence with and. If that doesn't tell you that she's about as mature as a 19-year-old, I don't know what will. Anyways, and definitely feel the difference. Even if he's more mature than a lot of people my age, I'm just feeling a bit unsure. Part of me wants to see where it goes, and part of me feels like maybe it's not right. It's not the right match long term. The last few guys I've dated have been in their 30s, and that went horribly. Has anyone else dealt with something like this? Would love to hear your thoughts. Edit. I'm a physical therapy technician, and I take care of some of the billing, and I know the owners personally, which is why they offered me a job. But it's a short-term thing for me, and I'm just looking to finish a year, which I almost have. I'm thinking about getting into physical therapy school, although I'll have to start all over for that. Everyone's tripping over me losing my license, but I didn't need one to begin with, and I'm just there for a few months, and it's minimum wage. Oh, okay. So, Maddie, any initial thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, when she says age gap, I mean, I could understand, it's 5 years. He's 19, she's 24, but at the same time, that's not really an age gap. Like if it was a 16-year-old, a 17-year, okay, but 19 and 24, I mean, you
Yeah, but I
guys
mean,
pretty much.
16. That's just illegal at that point.
No, I know, that's what I'm saying. Like if it was a bigger gap than just 5 years, I don't think it's that much of a difference. Yes, it still makes differences. Like she might not get references he makes and vice versa, but I really don't see the problem with that, like especially if she acknowledges that he is mature for his age and that he's trying and that it's a whole vibe. I mean, she literally said it's a whole vibe with him, that everything feels natural, that they click and everything. I don't really see that being a problem. I mean, and like she says, she's used to dating guys in their 30s, which is older than her. She's 24. So she didn't specify like 35, 36, 37. So it could literally be from 30 to 39, almost 40, which is, that's many more years than her difference with him. So I mean, I don't think that that's a problem, she should be mature enough, and she should have her priorities straight because, she's getting to the age where she's gonna be close to 30 soon, and then, what is she gonna do? Try to settle? I think it'd be the best bet if she were to just go for it with this guy and see how well things go. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But you know, don't be afraid to give it a try because of some sort of age gap. I mean, it's 5 years. It's not like you know that big of a difference. I think she should you know, try it out, see if it works, and if not, it doesn't,
Yeah, I suppose just to kind of piggyback off what you're saying a little bit, um, it- age gaps, especially if they're that small, they really mean nothing. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, there's a lot of people who are double my age who are absolutely like brain, like absolutely smooth brained. Let's put it that way. Um, there's a lot of people that I've met that are double my age that are very smooth brained compared to other people my age. You know what I mean? So it's like, for me, age doesn't really mean shit. At the end of the day, it's about, you know, it's about the individual, And if you're telling me that you've had, that he's really sweet and really respectful, and that he's mature, and that you really like, the vibes and everything, and you guys are clicking very good, I don't see why you wouldn't want to take that, especially since you're 24. I mean, it's like it's like a fucking 6 year age gap. I don't see that as 5 year. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. It is five. Um, Even better. I mean, shit, 5 year age gap. That's nothing. So at the end of the day, if anything, I would probably advise this 19-year-old guy to like find another chick, because I mean, depending on what the type of guy he is, because this is me speaking from my perspective. I want kids. I want to, provide for my wife. I want to provide for my family and whatnot. Not to say he can't do it with this 24-year-old, but considering she has a career going for her and she seems like the kind of girl who'd want to go further in that career, or at the very least go into a career, and she's already 24. She's already almost halfway through to the 20s, and you guys just met. Let's say you guys wait 2 years before starting to have a family. She'll be 26 by the time y'all have a family. You know what I mean? It's a little bit, it's a little pushing the whole, prime of your life type of thing when it comes to girls. But either way, that's neither here nor there. I digress. Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, nobody can sit here and tell me why an age gap relationship is a bad thing, and especially one this small. Do your thing. If you guys are clicking, you guys are having a good time. He's respectful. He's a good guy. You're a girl who has, been through shit. I'll tell you another thing as well that I was reading, and I kind of thought in my head when I was reading this. Just because you've been with other people who are like around the age of 30, and that didn't work out at all, if anything, it was horrible. Just because that happened does not mean that's how everybody is who's 30 years old, or that's how every relationship that you'll be with or you'll be in with a 30-year-old will work out. That's ridiculous to think that, but or to even kind of hint at that or whatever. But no, yeah, no, like you guys are clicking, having a good time, go for it. You know what I mean? I don't see why you would stop yourself. Besides some stupid fucking thing in your brain that tells you, "Oh, it's 5 years, it's so much." It's really not. So, anyways, yeah, that's all I gotta say. I don't know if you have anything else to say, Maddie.
No, I think she should give it a try. I mean, she shouldn't waste time if she already if she already has somebody that she's vibing with, and somebody who's somebody that she already like pretty much set all her green flags for. She shouldn't waste any time, and if she's ready, she should like just go for it and go into a relationship with this guy, and then have it grow from there.
No, yeah, I agree. I agree. No, 5 years is nothing. Especially, listen, he's above the age of 18. You're above the age of 18. You guys like each other, and
Yeah.
be in a relationship. I don't fucking understand the problem. But all right, let's move on to the next one. That was way too. All right, this one's interesting. At least to me. I don't know. Then again, it's just the title, but we'll see. It happened. He asked me to give him my card to pay the bill. How do I avoid this going forward? So I've only read about this happening and thought it's literally just a joke and or exaggerated, but no, it happened today. I, 26 female, went for a lunch date with a guy to a nice restaurant that I had reserved. It was quite pricey, but a restaurant that both of us agreed on, as he wanted to try it. I was more than happy to pay for the date, or at least split 50-50. But right before the bill arrived, he asked for my card so he could pay for it. What a fucking G. The worst part, I gave it to him because I didn't want to argue. I didn't think it was gonna be that. I didn't think. Sorry, I didn't think I was gonna be that stupid. But apparently, I can indeed sink that low. That I have a lot to say about that. But anyways, so that's great. I'm considering going gay. In all seriousness, how do I avoid getting guys like this? There are no glaring red flags usually in the chatting stage until something like this happens. Although no one's asked for my card before, I've still experienced all sorts of games during the first date stage when paying a bill is involved. For example, previously I've had a guy ditch me on the date, getting me stuck with the bill. Although we were discussing splitting 50-50. I also once went on a date with a guy who didn't offer to pay for me, but I requested the waitress that he wanted to pay for some other lady's drink who was sitting at the bar that he had been keeping an eye on.
Oh, Shit.
I really don't care about the money itself that much, but I'm just tired and would really like to just go out with somebody who doesn't play games like this. It feels like such a waste of time. Lots of people edit. Lots of people in the comments are telling me that I should never offer to split the bill with a guy. I'm not sure I understand. I feel cautious of letting the guy pay as I don't want him to have any expectations of me sleeping with him. And I don't want a transactional relationship. Edit. Okay, so I'm getting really scary threats in my DMs from some men. I'm considering deleting this post. Thanks everyone who has given me a helpful response though. I do appreciate it. Okay, I don't understand why she would be getting threatening responses, but whatever. Um, Maddie, what are your thoughts on this, buddy?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, I'll just say she said that this was the first date with this guy, or this was like their second, third, or fourth
No, it was the first date.
first date with this guy. Uh, well, like she mentioned, he said that he was eager. She said he was eager to try this restaurant, and so was she. And so I feel, I mean, this is just me. This is how, I was raised. And I guess, I don't know if it's still right or wrong, but I know in today's culture, gu- excuse me, a lot of guys uh, want to go 50-50 on the check, you know, because that's what a lot of guys are doing now. It's like, oh, nothing's really going to happen. I'm not going to get anything. Oh, let's go 50-50 then. But, if he's the one that's like, hey, I really like to try it. Would you like to try it? And she's like, sure. If he initiates it, then he should be the one to pay. I feel I feel like the man should pay for the first date. That's just me because it just shows the respectful. It shows that you're stable. You understand. You're serious about the person. Because nobody would just spend a lot of money at an expensive restaurant, like she said, if you weren't truly interested in the person. At least in my opinion. Um, But the whole part about him asking for her card to make it seem like he's paying, like, who the fuck is he trying to impress? The waiter, the waitress? That right there is not a real man, you know? Because if he's struggling with money like that, he should have been like, hey, you know, uh, can we go out on a weekend that I get paid, or can we go out on a weekday I get paid? That way he's able to pay and not make her pay, even though she says she's fine with it, or even going 50-50 still, as a man, you don't wanna no woman is gonna be attracted to a man who she has to be a sugar mama straight from the get-go, like, that's gonna turn her off, that's gonna make her see you less of a man, which obviously no guy would want. So this guy, I mean, hopefully she's not continuing seeing him. She already broke things off because that right there is too fucked up, at least in my opinion. If I tell my girl, hey, there's this new, or if I'm talking to someone and we haven't gone out yet, and it's like, hey, there's this new steakhouse, this new burger place that opened up, and I really like to try it. Would you like to try it? I initiated it. Oh, I'm gonna pay. Yeah, I'm gonna pick you up if you're comfortable with that, or we'll meet there. I'll pay. Then we go out, we go do shit after, and then that's it. You don't disinflate your balls and be like, hey, let me get your card so that I could, make it seem like I got money, like I'm the man here. What the fuck? That just makes you less of a man in my eyes. That's some bullshit right there, bro. Yeah, that's just my opinion. Like he doesn't seem like a real man for doing that type of shit. Seems like he's just trying to get a free meal, trying to impress nobody.
I'm gonna keep it a bug, bro. That's a that's a W man right there.
Nah, bro. Nah, I don't think so,
That
dog.
man is working in the system, bro. What a smart guy. Let me tell you one thing. I'm gonna say this one thing. Ready? She, as a woman in today's society, is reaping what she sows. Congratulations to the world you created and the rest of your fucked up gender created. I'm sorry to say, all of you motherfuckers did this shit to yourselves. And when I say all of you, of course, I'm speaking to the majority. Um, Maybe not the majority, I don't know, but to the motherfucking feminists out there, this is what you fucking created. This is the
He
world you
was.
created. You've created 50-50 relationships, and now you're reaping the benefits of this, or I guess the negatives for you guys. The benefits for the dudes, though, they're getting fucking free meals, which is what y'all have always gotten for the past fucking hundreds of years of us fucking paying for dinners and shit. So, now you get a little taste of your own fucking medicine. But I'll tell you one thing, like I said, let me tell you one thing. It's the same thing with dudes, all right? When it comes to advice, because I know this girl came for advice, and I'm not going to be a dickhead. I'm going to give her some advice. It's the same thing with dudes, okay? If you compromise your boundaries, even just a little bit, then you have no fucking boundaries, right? If one of this girl's boundaries is I'm not going to pay for guys' meals when I go with them on a first date, and then you go, I mean, I'm okay with going 50-50, then you have no fucking boundaries. You got no boundaries, all right? If you want to attract a man who's going to pay for you, right? Number one, it starts with who you are. Are you a girl who posts bikini pictures on her Instagram? Are you a girl who's a boss babe and has her own career and whatnot? Are you a girl who's a fucking feminist, fucking all that type of shit? Are you that type of female? If you are, then get ready to attract dudes who are gonna want to fuck you if they have to pay for the date, and if they don't have to pay for the date, they expect you to pay for that shit. All right, expect that. All right, you attract what you attract. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, whatever you look like, or however you portray yourself in public, that's what you're gonna attract. You're gonna attract equal to that. All right. So like I said, if this is the type of shit you want, this is what you're gonna get. All right, you're reaping what you sow. All right. So again, you know, have boundaries. Do that shit. I also don't understand why him asking for a card now makes him makes him like, wait, what's the fucking shit that she said? Okay, I don't understand why that makes you stupid, first and foremost, to allow him to pay with your card. I don't understand why that makes you stupid. Number one. Number two, and I also don't understand how you can say that you're quote unquote sinking that low because you gave him a card or gave him your card to pay for the date. Also, I also don't understand why you would consider going gay because of that. Why? Because he turned you off so much with that one action that he did that now you're considering the opposite gender, and I suppose the gender that you are a part of actually. I don't understand. Maybe this is just me, right? My own thought, my own brain. Maybe it's because women inherently want a man who leads. Women inherently want a man who pays on the first date. They want a man who is able to open the car door for them so that they can get in the car first, who's able to pick them up for the date, who's able to open the door for them to walk in to the restaurant, who's able to order for them, who's able to pull the chair out for them. They want a man who'll do this stuff. You know why? Because women deep down, as much as they are boss babes, and as much as they want to be independent, strong women, they know what they truly want is to be dependent on a man. They're just too prideful to say that shit. And this, unfortunately for you, ladies of the world, this is what you sow. Or
What they
sorry,
reap.
this is what you reap based off of what you sow. So at the end of the day, listen, portray yourself a certain way, you'll get a certain type of guy. I'm curious to know what type of fucking Instagram this chick has. What her. She's 26 years old, going on a first date with a dude. So also what type of career she's got, if she has any type of career. Maybe she's in school or something. I'm curious to know. You know what I mean? I'm curious to know. You've had this type of experience in dating. I'm curious to know. But nonetheless, that's what I gotta say. All right, don't compromise on your fucking what's it called? On your boundaries, and also don't be afraid and don't be prideful, and acknowledge that what you want is a man to provide for you, a man to be the protector, the leader in your relationship, to pay for the first date, to decide where you guys go, to plan the date for you. You don't want to have to move a muscle, and that's understandable. But don't be prideful and say, I want to be a strong, independent woman. This is what you get. Nonetheless, I digress. That's all I got to say. I don't know if you have
Well,
anything final, Maddie.
yeah, I'll just add, it's like you said, how you present yourself. Your presentation is a factor in what you attract, right? And not saying that she, looks maybe the part where she attracts a dude that thinks, oh, she got money, or oh, this is easy, or she's easy and things like that. Not saying she's any of that, but I mean, the whole fact. I mean, I think if I was her, bro, if I was a woman and I go out with a dude and he's like, hey, let me get your card so I can make it seem like I'm paying. I would have been like, "Are you stupid?" I would have gotten my ass up and left that dude right there if I was a woman and that shit happened to me on the first date when it was his idea and he encouraged me to try this new spot he was interested in. Yeah, that's fucked up. And it's like you said, a woman wants a provider, a man who's gonna pay for the first date, a man who's gonna be a gentleman, a man who's gonna be chivalrous. But then again, in today's society, you have the voices who are louder than the normal, who are like, "Oh, I'm an independent woman. I don't have to. He doesn't have to pay for the first date. What? I don't have a good job. I'm not able to have a good career where I could pay for the first date or go 50-50. What, you think women can't this and that? So you have those types of women that, unfortunately, the ignorance, sometimes ignorant people are louder than those who are uh strong-minded and who there's a word for it, I can't remember, but who are, who have their shit in order, right? So I mean, it's like you said, it kind of ruined it for us where, at times, like I said, if it was me, I'd pay for the first date, obviously. But then you have some people, girls now, who get brainwashed like, I don't, what you think I'm incapable? You don't think I can open a door for myself? You don't think this, you think that. We can go 50-50, which, will already cause either that shit to end from right then and there, or for shit. But it's like you said, she shouldn't disregard her boundaries and her standards from that point, especially if a man, bro, if he's around your same age. He just sounds like a bitch for him to pull a stunt like that. So hopefully she goes and finds a real man who will be chivalrous and respectful and treat her like a good woman and pay for the first date, and then after a while start to do 50-50 if, whatever. I don't know how that shit works, but you know, if that shit works down the line, then do it. But for right now, nah, bro. Don't go out with no man who's gonna try to make it seem like he's big balling with your fucking money.
Yeah,
Because his balls fucking went back inside of him after that shit.
hopefully she finds a real man, and hopefully she becomes a real woman. So let's hope for that, I suppose. But like I said, at the end of the day, you reap what you sow. Portray yourself like a respectful woman. You'll find respectful men. I can assure you that. Especially if you're, you know, average to good looking as a woman, you'll find a dude. Don't worry about it. All right, here we go with no stupid questions. I really just wanted to interject this little post real quick. It's not a post we're gonna speak on for too long because it's literally just a dumb question. It's really a stupid question, but we're gonna answer it. Or at the very least, I will answer it. Maddie can answer it if he likes as well. But I have an answer for this. That's why I kind of wanted to do it. Why do men only have one title, Mister, but women have three, Miss, Miss, and Mrs.? Now, when I say Miss and Miss, I mean MISS, and then MS, and then MRS. So I'll explain. Men only have one title because men keep their last name, you stupid sacks of fucking shit. Mr. whatever your last name is. Women, they change their last name. But in order for people to see if she's actually changed her last name, they do it a little differently. So, I don't know if you ever heard somebody say to a man, how's the missus? Right? Because when a woman is married and she changed her last name, she is no longer Miss, she is Mrs. whatever her last name is. Or her husband's last name rather. When she's not married, she's Miss. And now MISS is the full version of MS. All right, so it's basically two pronouns that women have: Miss and Mrs. Miss is when she's not married, meaning her maiden name, and Mrs. is when she is married, and that's her husband's last name that she took when she got married. Men only have one title because men don't change their last name. W men. Um, to answer your
This guy.
fucking stupid question. Anyways, I'm sorry. Maddie, I don't know if you have anything to say about that. I know it's a dumb post.
No, I mean, I genuinely have never really even given it any thought as to why there's the
Yeah, right.
three misses versus the one mister. I've never really given a shit about that. Yeah, we grew up we grew up in school with teachers. You're either MISS, MRS, or MS. And then it's always been Mister. So I've never given a shit enough to know or think about that, bro.
Yeah, right. That's stupid. That's funny enough. It's in the no stupid questions subreddit. All right, now to the next no stupid questions post, and this will be the last post of the Reddits that we do today. Just only reason I put this in here because I was curious to hear Maddie's answer to this. I'll answer first, and then Maddie can go. But I'm curious to know Maddie's answer. What would you do if you retired right now? Just turned 30 and lucky enough to consider early retirement. What would you do if you were in my shoes? Looking for suggestions since I'm in this weird position where I can actually stop working. Thanks to some luck, travel, start a weird hobby, learn a language, buy a van, disappear. Hit me with your retirement fantasies. Nothing too stupid for this sub. So for me, I personally think that I would not ever be able to retire, to be honest. At least not fully. Like, I could retire from regular work, but I don't think I'll be able to stop working, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, I'll always have to do something. There's always going to have to be a project I have to work on, or some sort of like investment that I'll have to, be in the works on, or whatever. Just something. I'm always going to have to be occupied. I can never find myself just perpetually being in a state of vacation, perpetually being in a state of just relaxation or something. I have to be doing something. I think one of those things, for example, here's a wild one: building an orphanage or something like that, or getting into real estate, starting a business, and working on that the rest of my life, or whatever the case, or things of that nature. I think I would always have to be doing some sort of project. Furthermore than that, I would probably also um, like be really into my faith. I would really go deep into the faith, read a lot of fucking books, starting with the Bible, Thomas Aquinas, Saint Augustine of Hippo, Saint Ignatius of Antioch, Francis of Assisi, just so many different fathers of the church, and also people of modern times as well in their writings. I would read C.S. Lewis, just so many people, man, so many people I'd read about, and read of their ideas and whatnot, and I'd get really acquainted with my faith. And something I hear that's a really good saying. If you were to try to learn everything of theology, of God, of the church, you will die without having even touched the surface. So I'd probably dive into that because I know that's something I'll be able to do for the rest of my life. And even when I die, I will still not have touched the surface. So that's something that'll definitely keep me occupied. But other than that, I would also just start a family. If I were to able to retire right now, I'm 21 years old. I am starting a fucking family immediately. I'm having a lot of kids. Those kids are going to have kids, and I'm going to be a grandpa. It's going to be great. Obviously, they're going to, in due time. But I would have kids immediately. That would be awesome. But with that being said, and, my plans for retirement, even though I can't retire at the moment, even though the plans were basically don't retire. But either way, Maddie, what would you do if you were able to retire this very moment?
Damn, bro, if I was able to retire at this very moment. So that means, I'm secure. I've got money that I can live the rest of my life,
Yeah,
with, would that be financial freedom?
yeah. I mean, I suppose that in the confines of this hypothetical, you have enough money to the point where you will never have to worry about money again for the rest of your life. Let's put it that way.
Oh, okay. If I was able to retire right now, it's like you said, I would settle down, have a family, I would definitely invest in properties and rent them out. Obviously, to have an income always, have a couple extra thousands coming in. Um, I would definitely want to start a business and then have it run itself without me having to be there. That way, I could also have more of an income and have a legacy in I guess in some sort of business enterprise. And then after that, once I get everything up and running, I would travel, go on vacations, maybe get an RV, a nice RV, go around with my family, go to different spots around the US, and then want to travel maybe Europe and things like that and just enjoy life and never be on a schedule. That way there's never a dull moment and I don't feel like I'm being rushed at any point in my life.
I agree. I think a schedule is really fucked. Um, yeah, no, I mean, I think, like I said, I don't think I'll ever be able to stop working. But one thing I will definitely look forward to in my retirement age, whenever that comes, is spending as much time as possible with my beautiful fiance. That would be a dream, a dream. Um, it already is, and I have to work every single day. So just imagine that. Imagine if I had every day to spend with her. That'd be a dream. Anyways, besides that though, I definitely would probably still be doing this show. If anything, like when I'm old and I'm fucking frail and I can't do shit no more, or when I get to the point where I'm already a boomer and like Matthew, why are you still doing the show, bro? You're fucking 40, or you're fucking 45, bro. What are you doing? Even though I think 45 is still young, but anyways, bro, you're 50. What the fuck are you still doing YouTube for? Be like, all right, bet. You know what? I have a son.
Mhm.
Son, take your rightful place on this fucking chair. All right, take your rightful seat as king of the CatFiveBoys podcast. And and then your son will take his place as the queen because Maddie's my queen. Um,
Oh,
no, I'm just
wait,
kidding.
what?
No, 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 I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It's okay. But yeah, no, like I said, I would always have to be doing something. I can't just do that. But yeah, that's all I really gotta say about it, Maddie.
Yeah, it's in my piece. I mean, I'll say one more thing real quick. It's actually it's crazy because a lot of people that we know at our place of work are already past their retirement age and they're still working. And we asked them, it's like, should have retired 10, 15, almost 20 years ago. What are you still doing working? Actually, one guy that I knew, he was supposed to retire. He had plans of retiring, and I asked him, I was like, "Hey, so why aren't you at home? You're already 70 years old. I know you still have a lot of energy, and you don't have a lot of pains in your body. Why aren't you at home? Or going around exploring and enjoying your life?" I can't. He was like, because it's expensive to go out and do stuff and obviously he's not gonna blow all the money he's freaking spent 70 years saving. And he also said that he got so bored just sitting at the house doing nothing but watching TV, picking up, go grocery shopping, and that he was bored out of his mind that he had to go get a part-time job just to just to stay sane, which is understandable. I'm sure when I get to the age, hopefully, God willing, I'm still able to move. That that I'm able to still have a job and do stuff at that time. So I don't just waste my last few years on this earth, just sitting in front of a TV doing nothing.
Yeah. Plus, the system kind of fucks you up to like kind of always want to be in perpetual like work. I suppose it's like, bro, just think about that. You're like he probably started working when he was like 20, so 50 years straight, give or take, of just straight work every single day in day out, going to work. At some point when you retire, it's like you're immediately like you're just thrown into the deep end of a swimming pool and you don't know how to fucking swim. That's how retirement is, low key, where it's like, bro, I've been working for decades upon decades straight, day in day out, and now I'm not working all of a sudden. It's like you're obviously gonna have that sort of withdrawal of work, I suppose. You're always doing some shit, and then now you're doing nothing. So but I understand that though. Like I said, probably would never be able to like stop doing something. Like I'll always have to have something to do. Otherwise, I think I'd probably shoot myself in the forehead. Even though I can't say that on YouTube, fuck.
Oh,
But anyways,
gee whiz.
I'd probably do that shit because, bro, there's no way that I would be able to just sit at home every day doing nothing, or like I can't. I'll feel so like I'll feel like shit. Like I feel like I'm like a wasted human being or something. I don't know. It's just at least that's just me. But anyways, we move on. If you have nothing else to say, Maddie.
No, sir.
All right, bet. Let's move on. So I think I'll do one more no stupid questions because this will lead us into kind of the meat of today's show. At least after the Reddit post, the post Reddit meat of the show. In light of recent events, can the military intervene to restore law and order in the United States? The question is, yes. So, with that being said, there was a guest that we had, Maddie and I. Her name was Stephanie. Obviously, you guys probably have seen that episode if you're watching it to this point. If you haven't already, it's literally the episode we just posted before this one. Her name is in the title, Stephanie Kendall. So if you guys want to check that episode out, listen to it. Listen to the stuff that we were talking about. We talked about immigration and due process in that episode. And I kind of just wanted to go, like, kind of give a little recap of the episode, a little recap of what we were talking about. And one of the things we were talking about is, like I said, we were talking about immigration. We were talking about, due process and how these people, these illegal immigrants, are, deserving of that or whatever, entitled to that or whatever the case. And I was, my rebuttal to that was, is there a thing in the United States government that they're allowed to do where in times of crisis, in times of national security threat, are there times where the government can take away or I suppose withhold your rights that you think you have, right? The answer to that question is obviously yes, right? They are able to do that. That's a thing that they're able to do. President Trump, the thing that he did was he declared that there was a national emergency and we were being invaded by illegal immigrants. With that being said, those illegal immigrants no longer have these constitutional rights, rights that they think they do. They no longer have them. Why? Because they are invaders, right? And the United States government has declared that this is a national emergency and they've taken them out. Goodbye. Get out the United States. That's something that she had a problem with. She thought due process. Oh, due process. They need due process. It's something else I was thinking about too when we were in that conversation. Another thing that kind of blows my mind is we have millions of people coming into this country. Do you realize the logistics in having to have hearings for each one of those millions of people who are coming into this fucking country illegally? Millions of illegal immigrants, undocumented immigrants coming to this country, and you want to have a hearing for all of them? Really? We're going to have some
21 million over the last 4 years.
Bro, and we're going to have some fucking Speedy Gonzalez judges out here, man, having hearings for these people. Or, I think something more effective is sending them back to their fucking countries. I think that's more effective. But, Maddie, what did you think of the episode that we had with Stephanie Kendall and the conversations we were having? What were your thoughts on that?
Well, excuse me. Excuse me. Uh, sorry. Sorry.
No,
Um,
it's okay, Maddie. Don't worry about it.
I think the episode we had with Stephanie, that was a really great episode. I really liked having her on the show. It was really nice for her to hear from a woman's perspective because she was I was about to say she was our first woman guest, but she wasn't. It was nice to have a fresh perspective from somebody who has a big cultural difference and has different life experiences. Debate and argue with us about our different views on you know different subjects, political, relationship, and just all in general, regular, day-to-day life things. So it was really interesting and nice to hear those fresh perspectives. Um we well be I don't really remember if we ever finished the conversation about with Stephanie if about the whole due process for the immigrants, for the illegal immigrants that are here. I don't remember if we ever finished that conversation, but I'll just say my part.
Yeah,
I
I don't
I,
believe.
I agree with you.
Sorry to interrupt. I don't believe we did, but that's also another topic that we were talking about in the appearance on her show that we're doing. So be on the lookout for that as well, because we're talking about different it's kind of like a continuation of our episode with her, where the things that we couldn't really get to speaking about during that show, during our show, we're like talking about it on her show. So just be aware for that. But go ahead, Maddie. Sorry to interrupt.
No worries. Um uh for the whole due process for the immigrants, excuse me. It's like you said, it would be a lengthy process because it's been uh over 21 million people who have come into this country illegally, and illegally means they cross the border without without doing any sort of process uh properly to become an American citizen, that they just, they came through the gate when they weren't supposed to, and they settled wherever it is that they could, whether it be Miami, New York, California, Texas, or some of these other states, and then they just migrate and create their own little society wherever they go. Um, but with the whole due process for them, it's like you said, it would take too long, especially excuse me. In 2018, the population for the United States, I believe, if I remember correctly, for the entire United States was 357 million. Um, and it I 21 million in the span of 4 years. That's a lot of people in 4 years, and a lot who haven't done the process to become an American citizen. Get your documentation, get your green card. Excuse me. So sorry, everybody. Um, to do everything that you've had to do. Um, which is fine because of course there's the because I know it's a very lengthy and difficult process. It's not something that just takes a few months. It takes anywhere from a year to 3 or 4 to be able to get your full documentation. But I think where the main issue, and it's mostly on the government, who was weakened by the policies and the people who were in charge of everything, was the fact that a lot of people aren't aware of this. And it sounds like, Matt and I are hating on illegal immigrants, even if they haven't committed crimes, if they're not criminals, if they're not bad people, if they're just here and they're living their lives, they're not bothering anybody. But at the same time, they're reaping benefits that you and I, as an American citizens, aren't able to get. And we have to work our asses off Monday through Friday. Some people have to work 7 days a week, working 50, 60-hour weeks, taking home minimum wage, when these illegal immigrants are living in nice apartments with a car that's paid for, a phone that's paid for, being given minimum $4,000 a month with an additional 250 for groceries. And, some people over here, American citizens, aren't even able to get groceries, or maybe not even able, excuse me, even able to spend 250 on groceries, or they don't even take $4,000 home, which is very sad when you think about it, because you know w- we're unable to do what we need to, better our lives, move on, grow, because all the money and housing and supplies are being given to people who come to this country for either political asylum, or they just want to leave their country because they fear they're gonna be uh terminated or something of that nature, political whatever. So they come here, but because they know it's safe here, that we're America's protected and we're able to protect them. But at the same time, if you have the immigrants who come, who appreciate America, love America, and become such big patriots. They do their documentation, they do their paperwork, they work hard, they pay their taxes, they pay their dues, they build businesses. It's great. But then you have obviously the few or the other half that doesn't give two shits, who's fine living off the government giving them more money than you and I have to work 40 plus hours a week, barely able to have anything after you pay rent in your car. That it's like, you're over here, been working since you're 18. Then, these people that have been here without having to pay taxes, so that's more money in their pocket, getting paid even more under the table, are living better than you, and you're working your ass off as an American citizen. There's a lot of factors that people don't understand and those numbers I threw out weren't just fake. It's actual numbers that the Democratic Party in the last presidency, or the last presidency, was giving $4,000 a month plus 250 for groceries, plus a car, an apartment that's paid for, or an apartment they have to pay maybe 10% of whatever it's worth, and a brand new phone. When, you have a lot of people over here who, not that it matters, like three generations behind on an iPhone or Samsung, they're still having to use their 2008 Toyota Corolla because shit's too expensive to get a new car, even if it's used. Could barely get rent, having to live in inefficiencies uncomfortably. It's just very unfortunate that us as American citizens who pay our dues, work hard and love America and obey the laws are being outlived by people who came here and abuse the system and don't give two shits enough to actually work their way to be uh, an official American citizen. So the whole due process thing, it's going to take forever. So I feel, you know, do what they got to do. I'm 50-50 with the whole uh ¿cómo se llama? What was it? The due process. I'm 50-50. Yes, you should give people a chance to see whether or not they're good. If they're close to getting their documentation, okay, let them stay. This and that. And then those that aren't, those that haven't even tried and don't give a shit, hey, you know what? Sorry. Should have
Yeah,
done it in 4 years.
yeah. Like listen, people people are gonna think, and I've had a lot of people tell me this actually about my beliefs on the subject matter, that I like I'm demonizing immigrants. Like we think that they're all murderers, or I can't say that on YouTube. Fuck, they're all R wordists, and they're all you know criminals and all this type of stuff. Um, you know, I I live in South Florida, man. I'm a Hispanic. I come from a family of immigrants. I have a lot of friends who have immigrants in their family. I have a lot of experience with immigration, people coming from different countries, immigrating to the migrating to the United States of America. Because at the end of the day, this is the best country in the world, and there's, like, listen, I don't fault them for coming here. It's a phenomenal country. It's a phenomenal country, the greatest in the world. Where else would you want to go, right? Um, the problem is we need to uphold the law that we set in place as the United States of America. Otherwise, what are we? We're not a country at that point. We're just land that is unoccupied. There's laws in the books for a reason. People are gonna come into this country. This country has a lot of immigrants. Come here legally. That is the way to do it, right? And like Maddie was saying, when it comes to the economy and whatnot, immigrants are a net drain to the economy. They take more out of the economy than they put in the economy, especially the illegals, because 9 times out of 9, those people are not paying taxes. They're getting paid under the table. They're getting paid cash. They're not paying taxes. So this is the thing that I always say at the end of the day. If you want to come to this country, we have laws in the books. Come legally, and this country needs to uphold those laws more efficiently. That's what Trump has been trying to do. There has to be a national language because this country needs something that they cannot get by allowing everybody to come into this country the way that they have been doing. And what they need is an identity. What does it really mean to be American? We had more of an identity back in the 80s and the 90s. We had an identity, what it meant to be American. In the 70s, we knew what it was to be an American. Even in the early 2000s, we knew what it was to be an American. What does it really mean to be an American today? To fucking change your gender or some shit? Like, what does it truly mean to be an American? We don't even know that today. Nobody can really fucking tell me what does it mean to be an American today. You can't tell me that. Because being an American doesn't have identity like it used to. And that's what we need to find again as a country, is an identity. Who are we as Americans? You know what I mean? We got to look for that again, and we can't look for that if we're allowing millions and millions of other people from different countries, different cultures to come in here and expect their culture to be assimilated to, rather than assimilating to a different culture. So, you know, that's all I gotta say about that. You know, the episode with Stephanie, it was like Maddie was saying, it was a good episode, phenomenal episode, super fun. It was fucking great. This one thing about me, I love having conversations. I love talking to people about topics like this, especially if I disagree with them, because at the end of the day, how do we get shit going? How do we change minds? How do we dismantle the opposing viewpoints to bring more people to the actual good side if we don't have these type of conversations? Plus, it's just fucking fun, to be honest. And people like to listen to it too. So, listen, last episode, phenomenal episode. Check it out. Make sure to check it out when you're done with this episode, or if you want to look at it right now. The episode previous to this one that we posted with Stephanie Kendall, it was a great episode. Another thing we were talking about during that episode is women's. What was it, Maddie? Was it their right to vote? Was that what we were talking
Mm,
about? Or oh no, we were talking about women in the military.
I mean, there was a lot of talk of all that stuff. I can't remember which one because it talked. You guys talked about a little bit about each of those subjects.
Yeah, I remember we were talking about women in the military and how I don't believe that they should be in the front lines at all in combat because they will get absolutely slaughtered. They will get essayed by the opposing military. They will have babies put in them forcefully and sent back to our country just to demoralize the men. It would not be a fun time for women, and it most certainly won't be a fun time for the men of the country that they should be defending. Women should not be in the front lines. They do not have the capabilities that men do. And somehow, some way, Stephanie was still, she still had the balls, ironically enough, to tell me that women can do what men can do. They just haven't been given the opportunity to do so. That to me was insane. What about you, Maddie? What were your thoughts on that conversation?
I mean, I could understand why she maybe actually when you were saying that it did remind me about a part about that you brought up that the Navy SEALs is all men and has always been men, and that why aren't there women? And I remember her rebuttal was because we can't do some of the things guys can because you're stronger, faster, bigger, this and that. So I do remember that part of the
No, that's what I was
conversation.
saying. She was saying that they haven't given them the opportunity to do it. That they haven't been given the opportunity to do that shit. And funny enough, as you had just brought up, that's the craziest part. Navy SEALs, 100, and I'm not even exaggerating here, and it's crazy to me. 100%. Actually, it's not crazy to me, but it's funny how this is a good example to this conversation. 100% of Navy SEALs are men. There's not a singular Navy SEAL that's a woman. There's not one. And it's not because of lack of opportunity, because the Navy SEALs themselves have tried to get women in to join and actually to pass the physical examinations and everything, to pass the training. They have lowered their standards multiple times in their training regimens, and women can still not pass those regimens. They cannot go through the physical requirements that the Navy SEALs have. They can't. They just can't do it. And there has to be a reason for this. What's the reason? Because women are not as strong as men. But some women, like Stephanie Kendall, they just can't accept that. They can't accept that women are just not as strong as men. Um, it's a hard pill to swallow, but either way, Maddie, continue. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Oh, no worries, buddy. Um, ma- 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 ma. I lost my train of thought.
You were
Sorry,
you were
buddy.
saying that that you were thinking about how we were talking about the Navy SEALs and how there's not a singular Navy SEAL.
Oh, right. Yeah, she because I remember she did say quite a few times or a few times that women aren't given the same chances, I guess, in the military as the men. I mean, I know the military. I love watching videos of drill sergeants and generals and everything behind the scenes and training in the different camps all around the United States of different branches and how they train and everything. I personally, I don't think that that's true from what I've seen. Then again, seeing on, documentaries and videos could 100% be different than how it is in person in real life from what you don't see, right? But I feel within the military, at least from what I've seen, a woman has the same ability to go for anything that a man does. She might not be able to physically be able to
So then she doesn't, right?
do it. I'm sorry.
So then she doesn't, right?
I'm sorry.
So then that means she doesn't, right?
She doesn't what?
Have the ability to do everything a man can do in the military.
Well, I mean, no, 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 no. No, the difference is that they're not given the same opportunities versus not being able to do the same things physically a man could do. Though those are two different things.
Yeah, but you said
Because her
that.
argument was they're not given the same opportunities.
Yeah, but you said you think that women do have the capabilities of to do what a man can.
No,
What,
they
like,
they, they have the same ability to have
oh, you're saying they have the same opportunity.
this. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They have
Oh,
the
okay,
same
okay.
opportunity. Yeah, my bad. I was wording it incorrectly.
No, you're good.
Women have the same uh uh shit, what's that word? I just said it.
Opportunity.
Opportunity. Thank you. Women have the same opportunity in the military as men because the military does not discriminate. I have seen dozens of drill sergeants, lieutenants, and high class officers that are women in videos for the training, of different military camps for different branches. It just, obviously training is intense. Most of it are things that men are able to do because stronger, faster, and able to take more of a mental beating than women. But I don't feel that there's any sort of discrimination against women in the military. They have the same opportunity to do what a man can do in the military. It's just a question of whether or not the physicality is playing a huge part in that.
Yeah, and another big aspect of it is that in almost every single one of the physical jobs that men do, militarily speaking, police force, all these different type of things, if you really look at the training that they've been put through the men, um, these standards have been lowered several times, not only in the military but in the police force, in the firefighter, in like fire departments, things of this nature. All these different physical jobs, the standards for force, the standards for physical exertion have been lowered because women are not able to actually perform at the level that men are able to perform, um, in the grand scheme of what it is. Of the requirements, I suppose. They're not able to do it. They're just not able to. Um, with that being said, it's been lowered several times. Like I said, the fire departments have lowered them. The police forces have lowered them. Military have lowered their standards. I've seen a lot of women in the military. Granted, there's a lot of women who are very athletic. There's a lot of women who are very strong, very fast. But there are certain necessities that you need to be a good soldier, an effective soldier. Women don't have the capability to do that like men do. They don't. They just don't. You're not built for that. All right. Let me ask you a question, Maddie. This is kind of ingrained in the whole entire conversation that we had with Stephanie. Do you believe that women should be on the front lines of the military?
I I I don't believe women should be in the front lines. No.
Okay. So that was like the main thing. It's like, for me, listen, you want to be in the military? Cool. By all means, be in the military. I mean, like, if that's what you want to do, go ahead. The main thing for me was you should not, as a woman, be allowed to be on the front lines of combat. And funny enough, they never have been in any big conflict that we've had as a country. Women have never been on the front lines. They were not on the front lines in World War One. They were not on the front lines in World War Two. They were not on the front lines in the Vietnam War, the Korean War. They were not on the front lines. In the Iraq War, they were not on the front lines because they are not built for it. They should not be allowed to be on the front lines. That's the only point. That's the point that I made. And for some odd reason, we had Stephanie there who was telling us that women have the same capabilities and the same ability to do the things that men do. They just don't have they're just not given equal opportunity, which, just to reiterate, is fucking insane to me. But anyways, yeah, but that's all I really have to say about that one, buddy. I don't know if you have anything else to add about the episode with Stephanie and kind of just that whole entire conversation that we had.
Well, I'll just say this. What I've been saying about the whole women in the military, it's not saying, just for the women listeners out there, I'm not saying that you're incapable of doing what a man can do. You're not unable to have the same. You don't. It's not saying you don't have the same opportunity a man does, and that when I say you shouldn't be in the front lines is because the men should be in the front lines. You should be a few lines behind us, right? You should be watching our back. You should be protected. The men should be in the front. That's why in a game of chess, the queen is in the middle, in the back, with the knights, the bishops, and the pawns, the men surrounding her and protecting her. You know, there's a reason it's like that. And I feel in the military, you know, it should be like in real life, if there's a problem, the men should be in front of the woman. If there a fight breaks out, the man should take the woman and go elsewhere so she's not in danger. And regardless of being in the military, it's understood that you're going to go in combat, you're going to be in firefights, you're going to be in things like that. I still feel that the women should be protected regardless of being in the military, and even though that's what they signed up for, they should still be protected regardless of being a military personnel or a regular civilian. So again, I don't think they should be in the front lines because just because of the situations that they would be uh presented with, because it's like you said, in all these wars, women have never been on the front lines, and there's other, there's different podcasts I watch and I listen to, and I see on social medias and little snippets that even a lot of women, different ages, say no, women should not be and couldn't be on the front lines because you know a lot of girls say, oh, because we're weak, we're not as strong, we're not as fast, we're not as this and that. It's like, yeah, we understand that, but a lot of people still don't understand that being on the front lines is, you're first, you're gonna be dropped, right? And we should have the same protection on and off the battlefield of the women, regardless of strength and capability, because at the end of the day, men biologically are stronger, faster, and just built different. We are built, sounds like a joke, but we are built different. We're built to protect, we're built to be strong, fast, and make decisions that are in our primal state. It's in our DNA as a man to be primal and protective and to be the lion, right? And I feel like it should be the same way. Women have the same opportunities. It's just in certain ways, the men always still have to go first to protect the women.
Yeah, no, I agree, and that's how it's worked for the history of the human race. Men are we're the predators, man. We're the natural born killers. We are the ones who hunt. We're the hunters. We are not the ones who stay home. You know what I mean? So this is how it's been for the history of the human race, and now that we're changing it, we'll see what happens, man. But I'll tell you one thing: when war breaks out, women will not be drafted. It will be men, and for a reason. But nonetheless, like I said, it was an interesting episode. It was a fun one. Um, it was fun to have those conversations, and the one that we had with Jennifer, like the first female guest that we ever had on the show as well. We talked about abortion, and she, what's the word? She conceded that babies, at least to the point where she would consider them life, that women should still have the right to take those lives away, which is absolutely crazy to be, to me, to be uh, advocating for the taking of life that you consider to be life. It's fucking wild to me. But anyways, um, it's just every single time we have conversations like this, we continuously see how far we've come as a fucking society. I swear. But either way, that's kind of what we've been doing. The episode with Aubrey Kana was a fun one too. Talking about degeneracy with him, at least me, I was. Maddie was talking about whether or not women and men could be friends with him. So that was also a good episode if you guys want to check that one out. It's been good. It's been good guests so far that we've had on. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I gotta say about the guests, Maddie. I don't know if you have anything further to say.
No, buddy, I don't.
All right, just to kind of finish this off a little bit, we have a couple of, at least I have a couple of announcements, and obviously Maddie's gonna be a part of them. First and foremost, we're going to be. I just want to give you guys a little bit of like a rundown and what we have in store for the future of the show. A little bit. We're going to be doing more episodes. Obviously, we're going to have more guests on the show. We're going to have some reoccurring guests too. If you guys want to be a guest on the show, please feel free to let us know in the comments of this video, wherever you're watching, or if you guys want to just DM us directly on Instagram, and we'll get in contact with you. We would love to have you on the show, but we have guests coming on. We have guests scheduled for the month of May, so we have guests coming on for the month of May. We are looking to do a debate episode. So Aubrey Kana wants or challenged Stephanie Kendall to a debate. Two of our fucking guests already want to debate each other. So we're going to have that episode, or we're going to have that debate scheduled for sometime soon. I'll keep you guys posted on that. But we're going to have them debate on the show. It's going to be like a legit thing. We're going to have them both here. They're going to be debating about certain topics. I don't want to spoil the topics yet, but they're going to be debating about certain topics. I'm going to be moderating, and we're going to have a good time here. It's going to be a good structure and everything like that. It's going to be very professional, so it's going to be good. But with that being said, we have a couple things. Like I said, we have those things coming up. Just in case you guys, just to keep you guys in the loop of the stuff we have going on in the future. One thing I want to do before we leave, just to finish off with a little bit of a high note. Maddie, how do you feel about playing a couple games right now?
Sure, buddy. Let's play a couple games.
All right, bet. We're going to play a game. I'm sure you've heard of it. Family Feud, obviously? Come on. How do you not know Family Feud?
Yes, I do, buddy.
All right. I'm going to do... Give me 1 second so I can search it up. All right. We're going to play... that's like the speed money round?
I'm not too familiar with it. I know about Family Feud, but I've never really watched the full episode. But I'm sure I'll get the hang of it once you go.
All right, bet. So basically, I'm just going to go through 5 questions, and you have to get a total of 100 points total with all your answers for these 5 questions. If you're able to get the 100 points, you win the round. So, seems simple enough, I think. I don't know if you need me to explain a little better.
No, go ahead, bro.
All right, bet. So let's get started. Just we're just gonna do a couple rounds of this just to kind of have a little bit more of a lively kind of finish to the show, whatever the case. So let's get started. Name a house that you would never want to be in.
Haunted. Is that the proper answer I should give, or?
So you're gonna give me an answer, and then at the end of it, I'll tally up all the points based off of the question or the answers you given me, and
okay,
I'll tell you how much you've gotten. But so your first, question number 1: name a house you'd never want to be in. You said haunted house.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the next question. Name something associated with vampires.
Coffins.
You said what?
Coffins.
Coffins?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Name something in a bakery a baker might call his wife.
Say that again.
Name something in a bakery that a baker might call his wife. Like a nickname a baker might give his
Honey,
wife.
cupcake.
If I'm taking a while, it's because I'm writing the answer down. All right.
Yeah, no worries.
Name something in a person's closet that only comes out on special occasions.
Suit.
All right. Last question. If you could go to the land of Oz, what would you ask the wizard for?
Wisdom.
Wisdom.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, Maddie. Let's go through your answers. Question number 1. I asked you name a house you never want to be in. You said a haunted house. That was the number 1 answer, and that was 27 points.
Hey, bet that up.
All right. Number 2, name something associated with vampires. You said coffin. That was not on the list, so you get no points for that one.
Damn.
Number 3, name something in a bakery a baker might call his wife. You said cupcake. You got 8 points for that one.
Bet.
Number 4, name something in a person's closet that only comes out on special occasions. You said a suit. That was also the number 1 answer. 35 points for that one.
Hey.
And last but not least, if you can go to the land of Oz, what would you ask the wizard for? You said wisdom. That was not on the list. The number 1 answer for that one was money.
Damn.
So with that being said, your total for all the questions for the points or whatever the case, you got 70 points, man. You got 70 points. So you
Sheesh.
30 points shy of the 100, but listen, you do what you can, you know what I mean? You want to do 5 more, or you want to just move to the next game, or like do the second game, I suppose. I mean,
Um,
or do you want to
let's do one more.
you want to do 5 more
Let's do one
questions?
more. Yeah.
All right, bet we'll do 5 more questions and we'll end the show here, just to kind of end off on like I said, a high note. Here we go. Name something you might see a commercial for during a baseball game.
Cars.
You said cars.
Yeah.
All right, bet. Next question. Tell me a word that rhymes with election.
Erection.
All righty, the next one. When you enter a bathroom, what color do you really hope not to see in the toilet bowl?
Brown.
If your dog ran away, name something you'd be surprised he took with him.
Um, fuck, I don't know. A pillow.
A pillow?
Yeah.
All right, bet. Last question. What's something you keep in your car just in case?
Spare underwear.
Like spare clothes, basically?
Yeah.
Okay, bet. I'm going to just say you did a lot better in this one than you did in the first 5, to be honest.
Well, good.
All right, here we go. First question. Name something you might see a commercial for during a baseball game. You said car. That was the number 1 answer with 28 points. We go to the next question.
Hey.
Tell me a word that rhymes with election. You said erection. That was the first. That was the number 1 fucking. Oh, sorry, no, that was the number 2 answer. With 23 points.
What was the number 1?
The number 1 was selection.
Okay.
All right, so now the next one. When you enter a bathroom, what color do you really hope not to see in the toilet bowl? You said brown. That was the number one answer for 61 points. I think off that one, I think you fucking won already. But anyways, we keep it pushing. If your dog ran away, name something you'd be surprised he took with him. You said pillow. 6 points for that one.
Oh, fire.
And then last but not least, what's something you keep in your car just in case? You said clothes. 5 points. So in total, you destroyed the 100-point goal. You got 123 points. So look at that. Now you fucking definitely end off on a high note, bro. Now you definitely end off on a high note.
Bet that up. Perfect.
123 points. W. I don't know. Maybe we should probably like apply to be on Family Feud. I don't know. Anyways, that's gonna be the end of the show. Maddie, I don't know if you have any last final thoughts, any final closing statements about anything that we touched on during the show, whatever the case may be.
No, buddy, I don't.
All right, wonderful. With that being said, I don't have anything else to say. To be honest with you, to be completely honest, I have nothing else to say either. So, like I said, with that being said, and without further ado, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so very much for tuning in, all of you who did. We appreciate it very, very much. We know you can be doing anything else. You can be anywhere else. You can listen to anything else, but you're choosing to listen to us, and we appreciate that very much from the bottom of our hearts. Again, thank you. Disclaimers: the views expressed on the show do not necessarily reflect the views of the CatFiveBoys channel or podcast. Further disclaimer: the topics that we speak on during the show sometimes get a little dark, sometimes can get a little bit deep, sometimes a little heavy. If that's not your thing, this might not be the show for you. So just a fair warning for there. We have clips. If you can't catch the full shows and you want to get some of the best bits of the episodes, maybe not, obviously not all the best bits, because then what's be the point of the episodes? But if you want to get some of the best bits, we have clips accounts that you can go check out. We have clips of some of the funniest bits, some of the more, I suppose, the more wisdom-filled ones, or whatever the case may be. If you guys want to go check those out, we have clips on Instagram. We have clips on TikTok. If you're watching on YouTube, we have shorts on YouTube as well. You can go check those out. All of those accounts are at CatFiveBoys, and you will see that in the description of this video as well. If you want to be a guest on the show, we would love to have you on. If you want to be a guest and discuss maybe some fun, cool things that are happening in your life at the moment, or maybe you listen to one of the episodes and you have a disagreement on something that I said, or something that George said, or something that Maddie said, or something that any other guest on the show has said on the show. If you want to come on the show, we would love to have you on to discuss those things, to debate, to argue, whatever it is that you would like to do. We would love to have you on. Just send us a DM on Instagram at CatFiveBoys, letting us know you're interested in being on the show, and also a little bit of a description about yourself, something quick, a little quick bio about yourself, whatever the case. We'll coordinate with you and we'll get you on as soon as possible. I stream, myself, Matt. I stream every single Saturday at 6 o'clock p.m. At least I try to. Haven't streamed in a while. I know, I'm sorry. But I will get back to it. And we'll be doing a lot of things. I'm going to be hopping on TikTok and going to a bunch of different random people's lives and debating them about different topics that they want to, whatever their prompt is. And I'll debate with them about that. And I'll go in there and I'll invade TikTok. And you guys can check that out on the stream. Also, we play games on there. Not like actual video games, but like, we play Wordle, and we play games on there, crosswords, whatever the case. So if you guys think that'd be a little bit cool, a little fun, you want to come talk shit on me live, or whatever the case, or give me some love live on the air, you guys can come over and do that as well. I would love to have you. I would love to see you there. The description, or the link to that, will be in the description as well. We have a shop. I don't know how I'm going to say it. I guess I'll say it like that for now. We have a shop. I'm very passionate about my faith, as I said before, and I am selling rosaries. If you guys would like to see the rosaries, I'll leave the link to the shop in the description of this video, and obviously subsequent videos as well. If you guys are interested in any of the rosaries that I sell on that shop, I would love for you guys to have take part in that. Like I said, I take my faith very seriously. I'm a Christian. I'm a Catholic first, and my devotion to Mary is very important to me, and this is one of the ways that I kind of want to express that within my my podcast or our podcast as well. So if you guys are interested in that, go check out the store. Even if you don't buy anything, just look through the store. Hopefully you guys enjoy what you're seeing there. You get also, we're including a free prayer card in every single one of the orders that we get. So if you're interested in that, feel free to go give the store a look. See. With that being said, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe on YouTube. Drop us a 5 stars on Spotify and Apple Podcast. And drop comments. We love the comments. If you give us any stories, we'll read it during the Reddit threads. Any criticisms, any sort of disagreement with any of the topics we speak on, we would love to hear from you and discuss it in the next episode. We post every single Wednesdays and Fridays. Again, thank you so much for listening. Anywhere you are in the world, we hope you're doing amazing and that you're having great days, and that the Lord is blessing you every single day. And even when you have bad days, we pray that you have the wisdom and the strength to glorify the Lord regardless. Thank you so much for tuning in again. God bless each and every one of you, and good night.
Have a great night, everybody. Be safe.